What is going on, guys? GregglesTV. Almost a week ago, I asked you guys via video what questions you had about the Google Pixel 3 XL because I was going to get it. Well, I've now had it for a few days and I'm ready to answer your questions. This video is called 10 Questions Answered. This is the #1 most voted question and it came from The Duke. What would you say to a Note fan to try and get him or her to switch over? Not a Samsung person, a Note person. So he's talking about having someone switch from this phone, the Galaxy Note 9, over to the Google Pixel 3 XL. And I can honestly say, I would tell them not to switch. I don't think they'll like it. I think they'll feel like they're taking a step down. This phone can do and has so much more software built into it. Someone that wants to tinker, someone that wants to, make the phone look the way they want to look without really doing much of anything. I mean, it's so easy to customize a Samsung phone, and the Galaxy Note 9 is part of that Samsung experience, and you can't really do that with a Pixel. Pixels are good for people that, kind of just like a basic looking, fast, fluid phone. So if you're a Note person, again, you're going to hate this phone without a doubt. Otherwise, this phone's not bad. It's a solid phone for sure. It takes great pictures. So I guess if I had to come up with one reason to have someone switch over to this phone, it would be, I feel like still photos generally look better and they're a little bit easier to, get in focus in terms of like if someone moves or whatever with the Pixel. Other than that, don't go over. This is an amazing phone and it's still, I'll give you a little spoiler, my phone of the year. That is the Galaxy Note 9. Next question comes from Carlo Paris. Do you agree with DisplayMate as the Pixel having the best display? So the Pixel 3 XL has been rated as basically the best display with an A+ display rating, and the display is very crispy, very clear, it's beautiful. The one thing lacking from it is the brightness. I right now have it at about 70%, and then even at, something like 100%, it's bright, don't get me wrong, it's definitely, probably a little bit too bright for me at 100%, but generally I keep at it about 80 or 90% during the day because I like a bright display. And even then, it's still not that bright. So you compare this to something like a Galaxy Note 9, which at 50% is actually pretty good. That's where you're gonna run into issues if you're coming from a phone like a Samsung phone over to something like this. You're gonna think this is super dim. So do I think the display is great? Yes, videos look good. Everything looks great. It's just not as bright as I wish it was. Balthazar asks, heard that the battery life is horrible and the back scratches badly and the RAM is bad. Is the RAM good? I played with one in the Verizon store, seems smooth, feels good in the hand, but yeah, they kind of failed on this one. Note 10 or S11 Plus is where it's at, LOL. So scratches on the back of this phone, I don't have any, at least from what I can see. And I've had it in a case since day one. So scratches, is it an issue? I would say personally for me, no, because I always have a case on it. So yeah, scratches, I'm not having any issues with it. Next up, battery life. Battery life is a mixed bag. It's definitely not as good as battery life as I've been getting with my Galaxy Note 9. I feel like that's definitely a better performer in terms of battery life. But overall, the battery life, it's not great. It's not awful. I'd rank it somewhere in the middle. I wish I had a bigger battery for sure, but I'm getting about 3 hours 30 minutes, 3 hours 45 minutes of battery life on this. Part of the reason I'm probably getting bad battery life is I have to run the screen a little bit brighter than normal because, again, I like a nice bright screen. As for RAM management, the phone is ultra smooth. I've had zero lag. It is amazingly smooth. So if you want a phone that's smooth or you're worried about it lagging, don't worry about this. Even though it has 4 GB of RAM, it's really, really smooth. It's a pleasure to use, no doubt. As for not being able to keep apps in memory, I don't run into it too often in terms of it causing an issue for me. I don't play that many games, so I don't need to have a game open all the time. And when I do, I just load it back up and it loads fairly fast. So in terms of RAM management, it doesn't really affect me. Our fourth best rated question is coming from Jesse Kanopka. Hopefully I pronounced that right. How intrusive or annoying is the notch? So before I actually had the phone in hand and had it right in front of me, the notch I was a little bit concerned about. I was worried it was gonna have issues, you know, just getting in the way of my experience. And I can honestly say I've kind of grown used to it and it doesn't bother me whatsoever. So is the notch a big deal? No. And I mean, if I watch a video or something, I'll see it, you know, on the left or right hand side, depending upon how I'm watching the video. But honestly, it doesn't bother me. And if you're worried about it, don't be. You'll get used to it. Eric asks, how does the IU, which I'm thinking means UI as in user interface, of stock Android on the Pixel compared to the UI of the Galaxy Note 9? So the UI, again, you're gonna give up a lot of customization going from the Galaxy Note 9 over to the Pixel. And you can obviously customize the Pixel, but it's just a lot easier to change like colors of the menus and the background settings, color screens and all that. And you're just able to do a lot easier on a Galaxy phone. So that would probably be the biggest takeaway from this. But in terms of, you know, using the phone, you're not gonna have any, you know, problem figuring out what to do. It's the same experience. It's Android. It's a newer version of Android because you have, you know, a little bit more gestures at the bottom rather than having, you know, 3 buttons at the bottom. But other than that, it's the same experience. No reason to be concerned. It's fine. Our sixth question comes from Sabod Kumar, who asks, it does not include 4K 60 frames per second or 1080p 240 frames per second. Video is pretty bad compared to other flagships. So it definitely does not have as many shooting modes as other phones, but you can shoot up to 4K 30 frames per second, and you can shoot up to 1080p 30 frames per second on the front camera. It's also got wide angle, which is nice, which some front facing anyway, that some other cameras don't have or other phones don't have. So I like that part of it. As for shooting video, I haven't shot a ton of video yet with it, to be honest with you. I'll put up a little video that I shot right now. You tell me if it looks good or bad, and it's in 4K 30. Daniel Juarez is asking, do Pixel 2 XL cases fit the Google Pixel 3 XL phone? Here we go. Pixel 2 XL case, Pixel 3 XL phone. Let's place it inside. Snap, snap, snap. And kind of fits. If you can see on the back there, you can see this isn't completely in line. There's like a bigger hole cut out for the fingerprint sensor, and the camera is slightly cut off at the top. So does it fit? Yes. Should you use it? I would say no. All right, so we have 3 more questions, and a lot of these ones don't have any votes, so I am going to randomly choose some of my favorites from here. John Greeny is asking, is it worth upgrading from the Pixel 2 XL? That is a tough question to answer because they're both very similar. I think if you upgraded, if you don't have a lot of disposable income or income that you put towards phones, I would tell you not to upgrade. And the reason being is I don't think it gives you enough different things comparatively. Like, sure, you're gonna get a better display with the Pixel 3 XL versus the Pixel 2 XL. That might be one big reason. But generally, I feel like the camera is very similar. The experience of the software is definitely almost completely similar. So overall, I think for a person that always wants to upgrade and has that built into their income to do it, sure, upgrade. But if you don't do it. Our 9th question goes to Charles Akana, who says, as far as gaming, for example, Fortnite, GTA, San Andreas, etc., aloha, Charles. Not a big gamer on the phone, really, to be honest with you, but I will try out a game on here that's pretty high end, and we'll see how it works. Even though it only has 4 gigabytes of RAM, it should be still completely smooth because of that Snapdragon 845. But let's take a look. And our last question comes from Lionel Sinacieros. I probably butchered your name, I'm sorry. Do a speaker test between the Pixel 3 XL and the Galaxy Note 9. All right, so I have both phones here, Galaxy Note 9, Pixel 3 XL. I'm gonna do the Galaxy Note 9 first. The song I'm gonna play on both of them is The Lagoons. The song's called California. And I'm gonna start 6 seconds in, and I'll play like 7 seconds worth. And then lastly, the Google Pixel 3 XL. I don't even have to listen any further. This one definitely has louder speakers than the Galaxy Note 9. So there you guys go. That is my 10 questions answered about the Google Pixel 3 XL. Hopefully I gave you a better reason to either buy or not buy this device. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys down the road, and thank you for all that submitted your questions.